Before we begin, if you need to email me for food, training, and coaching plans or workout plans, email me at miamilifeandfitness@gmail.com. You can go to my website and get my deodorant and my delicious lip balms at www.miamilifeandfitness.com. Instagram, Miami Life Fitness. And if you need labs, go to Private MD Labs. Guys, it's really, really easy. It's inexpensive, lots of different panels, user-friendly site. My code is Miami for 15% off, privatemdlabs.com. Now let's get started on this video. All right, so the first question is gonna go out to Alicia Ayala. Alicia wants to know what supplements or what should a female take as far as supplements after doing a cycle. This is a good question. However, it's going to be a fairly simple question. It's also a broad question because she didn't specify what cycle she was on. She didn't specify whether she was on an HRT cycle, competition cycle, or just an Anavar cycle. She didn't specify how small or how big her cycle was. So I can't really, I'm going to answer that to the best of my knowledge and even answer it depending on, I'm going to give two answers to it basically, because I'm going to go off right now as she just took Anavar. So if Alicia, you only took Anavar, you don't need to do anything after the cycle. There's no PCT, there's no this, there's no that. There's really no supplements you should be taking after cycle or post cycle, because you should already be doing a DCT, which is your during cycle therapy, of the following things. You should be drinking lots of water, limited or no alcohol, vitamin D3, probably about 5,000 units a day, because it helps clear the toxicity out of the liver, and also a liver support, whether it's NAC, TUCA, or sali marina, which is milk thistle. Those are the things which I call it during cycle therapy that you should be doing regardless of how big or how small your cycle is. So if you're doing Anavar, you should be running those three things during cycle and after cycle, because after cycle you may take an antibiotic, you may take a allergy medication, you may take Tylenol, ibuprofen, Aleve. You may take, you may pop an MDMA. You may take a depression medication, anxiety medication, or any other type of medication, and therefore, or drink alcohol, which is super detrimental to the liver. So you should always be taking the liver support regardless, as well as vitamin D3 as well. So that's answer number one. Now, if you're a bodybuilder, competitor, and you just got off a competition cycle, it's going to be just a little bit different, because depending on how big your cycle was coming off a competition, then you definitely need to go get your labs done so you can check and see where your hormones are. And if you do need a little bit of estrogen boost, if you have very low body fat, for instance, if you were competing and you have low estrogen, but definitely all your AIs to remove all the estrogen and remove all that water, then you will need to boost up the estrogen, maybe take a little bit of HCG, etc., and then maybe boost up testosterone if you need it. So that's why labs are crucial. No matter what the hell you're doing, labs are crucial. If you're a normal person, get your labs done. If you're a competitor, get your labs done. If you're a powerlifter, crossfitter, get your labs done. If you're a diver, swimmer, runner, cyclist, get your labs done. If you're on HRT, get your labs done. Regardless, get your labs done. That's the only way you're gonna know what the hell's going on in your body, so that me and the whole rest of the world, or anyone else who's trying to help you balance your hormones, doesn't have to play a guessing game with your body. So I hope that answers your question. It was kind of broad because you weren't specific as far as what cycle you were on or what you were taking on cycle, but hopefully that's it. But again, you should be taking those things to protect your liver: water, vitamin D3, and a liver support regardless, on and off a cycle. All right, the next question goes out to Nicola H. Phelan. Nicola wants to know, if you're trying to put on size and build bigger muscle and not get fat in the off season, how much cardio should you do per week? Again, I don't know her stats. I don't know how much muscle mass she has. I don't know how much body fat percentage you have, Nicola. So again, everybody's different and every single person needs different amounts of cardio. For example, somebody who's 50 pounds overweight is going to need completely different amount of cardio than I do, or the bodybuilder, a guy who's 7% body fat, is going to need way different amounts of cardio than the person who's 200 pounds, or the person who's 150 pounds, or the person who has low body fat versus high body fat, etc. So that, again, this is another broad question that's going to really get a broad answer, because you're not being specific as to your body type and how much muscle you have. Do you have a lot of body fat? Are you a competitor? Are you a powerlifter, crossfitter, etc.? So that's going to depend on how much cardio you do. For example, some of my clients I make them do cardio 3 to 5 times a week. And I'm not a big fan of cardio. I know that it's a necessity, and it most definitely is a necessity because it is cardio, which is cardiovascular, which is related to the heart, and it keeps the heart healthy. And cardio is necessary no matter what, but I don't believe in doing tons of cardio at the gym. I think that really eats up the muscle and it really stresses out the body when we should be focusing on building more muscle, which that is what actually burns more fat and pushes the fat out of the way as we grow the muscle. So I try to focus less and tone down and reduce people's cardio times from what they've been told in the past. For example, I like my clients doing 20 to 30 minutes of cardio. That's it, in and out. When you see me doing cardio, I maybe do cardio twice a week, maybe 10 to 15 minutes. Why? Because I literally walk 3 miles a day, and the reason is because when I walk my dog, I walk her very, very fast, and she's basically my cardio partner. I'm not the one that is taking a little walk and walking, and the dog is walking me. I'm actually going for a walk, and she's running with me. So again, and I also don't have a car, so everywhere I go, I'm walking. I'm walking to the nail salon, to the post office, to the dry cleaners, to Publix. I take the train to Trader Joe's when my boyfriend doesn't take me. I walk to my laser salon. I walk to FedEx. I walk to UPS. I walk to Sephora. I take her to Sephora. I take her to the mall. I take her everywhere. And so I'm walking everywhere. I go to the gym walking. So I'm walking everywhere. So a person who is very low body fat and who walks all around, who walks all day anyway, does not need to step on a cardio machine because you're already doing 3 to 5 miles of cardio throughout the day at a higher pace than the average person. Now, if you don't walk at all anytime throughout the day and you do need to lose a little bit of body fat, you will get in the gym and lift weights first to build muscle, lift heavy and intense, and then you can get on the cardio machine for about 20 to 30 minutes max. So again, to answer your question, I don't know when you said to not get fat in the off season. I don't know why you would say that, to not get fat. If you're worried about getting fat, that means that you are not near your goal or nowhere near your goal, which means you're thinking that you might get fat, which means that you're not eating correctly. When somebody writes this to me in order to not get fat in the off season, that means that you are not eating correctly and you probably still don't know how to manage food. So you might want to contact me for a food plan. But if you're trying to build bigger muscle and not get fat, the answer is just don't eat fat. If you don't want to get fat, don't eat fat. If you eat fat, you're going to get fat. It's simple as that. Unless you're 5 to 10% body fat and your body needs fat to hold on to the muscle. But as far as cardio, that's going to be it. It's going to be basically 20 to 30 minutes, maybe 4 to 5 times a week, again, depending on your body fat. So this is really another broad spectrum question. And if you want to put in the comments here after I release the video tomorrow, if you want to put in the comments where you are as far as body muscle mass and body fat, then I can give you more specifics on where you are. Unless you just want to set up a consultation with me for 30 minutes, and then we can talk one-on-one and be on the up and up on exactly what you need on a specific and individual and personal level. Thank you for your question. All right, the next question goes out to a couple of my friends and clients here in Miami that I go to, that I see at the gym all the time, and they've become personal friends of mine. They're an older couple and I really love these guys. It's CJ and Patricia, really great people, just super, super great people. They are about around 60 years old, both of them, give or take. He's probably about 3 to 4 years older than her, but right around that age gap. And of course, they're both on TRT and HRT. But the way that he used to do cycles before he started talking to me and to Miguel was he would just take testosterone and growth hormone and just be done with it. And he thought that that was it. And then all of a sudden he would, start aromatizing and his estrogen levels would go up because he's obviously increasing the testosterone, which then elevates DHT and elevates estrogen levels as well. And then of course the guy doesn't realize why you're starting to get gyno or starting to get, poofy and soft here and all jelly, wee. And, your blood pressure is going up, your palpitations are going up, and you're getting red in the face, and your heart is working harder, your heart is stressed because now your body's swollen because you are bloated and retaining water. Your arteries then become thicker and it's harder for the blood blood to pass through the arteries, which then makes the heart work harder and increases your blood pressure, which puts danger and basically puts your heart at risk, all because either you don't know what you're doing or you don't want to do a DCT. Or you feel like you don't want to spend the money because you feel that this is the dollar store, or your body is a dollar store, I should say. So now, basically the question from CJ to me is, why do I have to do a DCT? What is the purpose of that? And I said, well, as what's happened to you the past 3 times, that you've had to actually stop your cycle because of what you're telling me and what you're going through, and then you run to see the doctor instead of coming to talk to me or Miguel. What's been happening is exactly what I just mentioned. You're not doing a DCT and you're getting the side effects and the estrogenic side effects because you are not running a complete cycle, you're running a half-ass cycle. And that's basically it. So now we have moved him over to a complete TRT cycle, which is testosterone and an AI and Proviron, which is your bodyguard, and then a little bit of HCG to make sure that all the signals get sent from the hypothalamus to the pituitary, your LH and your FSH down to the testicles, so that all the signals get sent and nothing gets crossed or shut. So that is your answer, CJ. I hope you like that, and you better be following my guide now. You better do as I say, because I'm going to be watching you. And guys, if you're not willing to spend the money on the necessary DCT to protect yourself during cycle, then don't start one at all. And the last question is going to go out to my brother, whom I just spent a little bit of time with up in Jacksonville with my mom. And my brother, who is now 42, obviously is experiencing, or has been experiencing the past 2 years, signs of low T. I have also been talking to him about this for the past 2 years, but because I'm not a doctor, you know, family members usually don't listen to you, especially when we have quite a few doctors in our family. So he has done a few labs, and he has also got his thyroid checked. I think it was a couple weeks ago. He's waiting on the results for that. Might have even gotten them this week. I don't know. He hasn't mentioned it to me, but whatever. I'm here if he needs me, and he knows I'm here. If not, then it's fine, but he knows I'm here. But what's happening is here's what happens, and this is why guys are like, well, how do you know I have low T? Well, because I can tell by looking at you. If you're gaining weight, and you're gaining weight in the midsection, and you're not active, and you're fatigued, and you're tired, and you have low libido and low sex drive, and you don't feel like going to work, you're starting to get signs of depression. You don't want to do anything. You don't want to even be around people. You want to stay home, and your blood pressure is going up, and your mood swings are going up, you're not sleeping the same. All of this has to do with low T and your estrogen going up. So he always keeps asking me, how do you know that a man has low T or low testosterone? That is his question. If you're definitely over 30, and there's obviously, if someone is overweight and doesn't really take care of themselves and doesn't really eat that healthy, my brother does, by the way, just to get that clear. But in the past 2 years, he's had actually in the past year, he's had a huge shift in his body, which is in reference to what I'm talking about. But you can kind of look, remember, everybody experiences hormonal changes and hormonal imbalances at any given time. It doesn't have to be right at 48, or does it have to be right at 52. It could be at 28, it could be at 32, it could be at 41, and it could be at 46. Every single body and every single DNA makeup inside our own body is going to shift and go through the hormonal changes on its own whenever it's ready to on its own, or whenever the body just wants to stop producing this and wants to increase the production of this. It's just the way the body is. We can't control it. We don't have a button that says, okay, now boost my testosterone, and now we're gonna go ahead and bring it down to 250. We don't have that luxury of doing that. However, what we do have the luxury of is going to a clinic, or going to an endocrinologist, or a specialist who can actually, or private MT labs, and actually get test results done, hormonal panels done, so that you can get your levels, check them and see where you are, so you can see exactly what you need so that your levels can be restored. Men, if your levels are not at about an 8 to 850, you're doomed. You want to be between 850 and 1,000. Now, if you want to feel good, yeah, what's up? Yeah, I feel all right. Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm feeling fine. If you want to get by feeling 5 at 500 level of testosterone, that's fine. That's your decision, and nobody can tell you otherwise. But if you want to feel good and you want to feel great, okay, then you need to be at 8 and 850 or higher, point blank. I don't care. Oh, but that's dangerous. It's not dangerous. What's dangerous is not being at those optimum levels, because now you're at risk of higher estrogen, of blood pressure, heart disease, and all kinds of other disease. Low libido, fatigued, you don't have a loss of life, and you're basically living a lackluster life because you lose that hunger and that drive to do anything. You're not gonna have any sex. No one's gonna turn you on. You're not gonna wanna get out of bed, and therefore you're not gonna be living the life that you should be with your partner, with your kids, with your family, etc. So basically your quality of life is being reduced day by day if you don't balance the hormones and get them restored. So for you, my brother, whom I love, and everyone else who is experiencing signs of low T, and even if you don't have low T because you haven't checked it, but you kind of feel like you do, please go running to a lab and get them done just for your own good. You're just gonna basically save yourself. You're gonna save yourself, because if not, you're gonna be getting a whole gang of health related issues within the next 3 to 5 years. Trust me, it's happening. It's happening. Face it. Face it. That's the end of the video. Hope you like that. Really good questions. Everyone like, comment, sub, and share the video. Share it to all your friends. If you have any questions, please leave your comments so we can exchange. I love interacting with everyone, and I appreciate everyone for your love and support. If you love this video, you found value in the video, then give me a super thanks, the big heart on the bottom. And I don't know why they moved it, but it's next to those 3 little dots next to the share and download ... You click on that, the heart comes out. Boom. All right, everyone, have a great week, and we will see you soon.